And my name is Brandt. I have the privilege of serving as an Army National Guard chaplain, and one of my best colleagues is with me today.
Hi, I'm Larry Bazer. I'm a Jewish chaplain in the National Guard, and I have the great pleasure of serving and working with as my friend with Chaplain Ed Brandt.
And so, Larry, you're from Massachusetts. You're the former Joint Force Headquarters chaplain in Massachusetts, and you've been at the Bureau now for how long? A couple of years?
I've been here for a little over a year and a half.
Okay.
Quite an exciting place to be, different than the state, though it's been a thrill for me to be able to take what I've learned in being a state chaplain for many years in Massachusetts and to bring those ideas here to the Guard and to be able to share it and then to offer it back to all our 54 state chaplains across our nation.
And it's even more exciting during this pandemic.
It is, I think of all the things I thought I would have to deal with, from hurricanes, maybe earthquake, blizzards up in Massachusetts. No, I would never expect that we would have to face this, though it is what we train for.
Yeah.
What we have to think about, but not on its full level.
Well, we had a training in January for the Joint Force Headquarters chaplains, and we specifically talked about some, not exactly a pandemic, but a national emergency, and this fits within that. And we're finding our chaplains stepping up to the plate. Would you agree?
Ways that I never could expect. So one of them, for example, New York is doing outstanding work. New York's been on the front line, but what they're doing in a both Army and Air jointness, being able to take care of the service members who are on the front lines, and then even helping some of the other people around in the proper chaplain lanes, which has been really quite something. So I think we could talk about training, but when you're actually doing it. The one difference I would actually say with this pandemic than even what we talked about in training in January is that this is affecting our entire United States, as opposed to we sort of think, okay, if one region got hit,
right,
or maybe all of the West Coast. But here it's the entire nation, and so we have to think as one. But that's what we're about.
Yeah, I know. I'm Presbyterian, and I've been logging into services on a regular basis to see how people are doing worship. And of course, we just finished Holy Week and celebrating Easter, which ironically coincides with
Passover. And so I was also logging in and for various services with friends around the country and to check in with them. And I think if anything, we may be socially distant, we are spiritually connected, and that's what our folks have been sharing with people. Stay connected.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever in your entire life celebrated a Seder via FaceTime, Zoom, iPad? Ever do that before remotely?
Never. Normally I would never do something like that, but different times we actually call this a time of great challenge or uncertainty, so the rules become a little bit more liberal, so to speak, or we look for ways to connect. And it was much better than I thought, I have to confess.
Well, I just, for the first time in my life, celebrated communion via Zoom, with about 150-some people logged on for Holy Thursday. So we did that at the church where I help out at. And I guess the question I think I'd like for us to explore a little bit is how do we maintain our faith and the richness of our faith when we really can't be part of a community in person, touching hands, sitting in the pews with each other, etc. I mean, what's it been like for you?
I'm going to confess that it's actually been challenging for me. I love being in a congregation to worship. And although I was a pulpit rabbi for many years, now I'm just a congregant and I'm loving it. I miss the opportunity to chat, schmooze with the person next to me.
Schmooze, you're a great schmooze, you know that.
I try. So I don't have that. But there is something when I look online, I see how many participants are there, thinking, oh, maybe there's 25. And at one of the first day Passover service where I logged on to, there was well over 100 people.
Wow.
That says something to me, that even despite that, people want to be able to come together. It's all too easy when it's just there naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can go, no, I have something else to do. Here it's like, let me take the time to connect. That, I think, was probably the most spiritually uplifting part of the entire worship service. So, I don't know, when this is all over, I do want to go back to
Well, same here. We'll go back and be with people and sing with a congregation hear the word proclaimed, and I miss that. Although right now, doing it online is the next best thing.
Right.
And I guess you and I, we come from different traditions, but we have a common concern and care for the people entrusted to us. And what kind of encouraging words do you have for our folks here wearing the uniform?
Without a question, make a point to stop and see the world around you. We get so focused in on our missions at hand, and then when we're off, we're going to log it, talk to our family members, be at home, and then we're back at work doing, especially if you're out doing these incredible sacred mission tasks. But I do think there's one point to just reconnect with yourself, which is easy to lost, that you look around and smile at someone when your mask is off or you're in a safe place. Look at the beauty of a tree. Everything right now in springtime is blossoming. And so take that in, because that can give you, I think, the renewal. And to think that there's something greater in this world that gives us the hope and the light and the ability to make a difference.
It sounds like you're quoting Ferris Bueller. If you don't take time to enjoy life, you just might miss it, kind of thing.
I think it's true, though I got to confess, I've never seen
Oh my gosh, that's one of the best movies of all time. Favorite movie?
I have to. Favorite movie? Lawrence of Arabia
Okay.
and Chariots of Fire.
Wow. Cool. Mine would be Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I like that. I like that movie that's there.
So I'm going to have to ask you
Sure.
this in looking at being a senior leader for the Guard, and we know our senior leaders, especially at the general officer level, or have so many things on their plate. What is it that you really strive to offer them?
Wow, that's a great question. There's a couple things, and we do this in our daily telecoms. We usually keep them all in our prayers every single day, and I usually try to reach out to them with a phone call or an email to let them know they're being thought of, and to encourage them with all the responsibilities that they have to make sure they make time to call their significant others, to call their spouse, to call their kids, to send them a note, because so often that can get lost in this fast-paced environment serving our communities. And I think we offer that kind of support that perhaps no one else can.
That's really great.
Yeah.
So we both have talked in the past how much we love Scripture and the liturgy. So when you're thinking this time, what Scripture do you turn to?
Well, ironically, I go back to the Hebrew Scriptures, and I love the Psalms. Psalm 46 is the one which stands out to me, that God is my refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble, therefore I will not fear. And I think all the passages that talk about having no fear, I forget the psalm number, but be of good courage. I think those words are they need to be heard by people. People need that encouragement. And so regardless, I think we agree on this, regardless of our faith tradition, we have these resources that encourage people to get through each and every day.
I couldn't agree more. And for me, it's Psalm 27. Hope in the Lord, be strong and have good courage. Hope in the Lord. It is. Sometimes it's the psalm or a passage I come across that I wasn't expecting. I was looking for something else that stops me. And I think that's when I feel like the divine is really speaking, saying, here's a verse that can make me look at the world differently. But I think that's going to be one of our big tasks when this is all over. How do we now see our country, our world, see each other, what we expect, what we realize we can do without? And I think it's going to be a role that we as chaplains are going to be helping our service members through, how to reframe things. There's always this talk about when we get back to normal, when we get back to when everything is open. And I do believe we don't go back, but we go forward. Mm-hmm. And how do we see that? How we frame that? And I think it's each of us can help each other do it. One of the things I said at one of these updates that you talked about earlier is I said, a great sage once said, greet everyone with a smile. Mm-hmm. And I think about that. Now that's hard now because we're wearing masks a lot of the time.
People don't know what we're doing behind the mask.
But I do think that's the way that we connect in the most human level, is to smile.
Yeah.
And I think anyone can do that.
What you said is, so Peggy Noonan had an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal last week, and she said that, people are Zooming and FaceTiming and Skyping because they want more than the voice. They want to see the face.
Mhm.
It's the face of humanity. It's the face of joy. It's the smile. I just don't want to hear my granddaughter's voice. I want to see her face.
Right.
I just want to hear my wife's voice. I want to see her face. And I think we are rediscovering a depth to the meaning of community that we may have been lost previously. So hopefully that'll be a byproduct of this crisis.
Right. And even if you're seeing your loved one, I know a lot of people said they go to the end of the driveway, their loved one, especially if they're above 60, will come out and they want to make sure that everyone's safe. And they'll hold up a baby or they'll wave and they'll keep the conversation. For now, until we could actually be close and touch each other, it is a way, I think you said, to see the face. And even at that extent, not through a screen. But if people are farther away, it's about being safe. That is one of the most crucial principles in Judaism. It's pikuach nefesh. The saving of a life takes precedence over all. And I think we have to do this. We do what it is to save each other, keep each other healthy and well-being, and to constantly remind people of that. Oh, as we both know, wash your hands 20 seconds